to Boulder. It's my home. And I had people threatening and harassing me there over Matty Boa immediately because Matty Boa lied. So I finally did get disability. I got housing before I got disability, though. In January of 2017, I was in housing in Chapel, Nebraska. And I had people harassing me on YouTube, or sorry, not YouTube. I had people harassing me on Facebook. I had people harassing me in emails. I had people calling me to harass me. But nobody cared. When I finally got my disability money, what did it go to and why? Well, first of all, let's talk about Nicole Peralta. Nicole Peralta was my therapist in Nebraska. And Tamara was my caseworker, was supposed to be. So I had no money, and I was trying to get help stopping the abuse. I was sent to Nicole Peralta and Tamara of Region 1. So I'm going to Tamara and Nicole Peralta, Region 1, month after month after month. Tamara quit her job after, I want to say, 3 or 4 months. She wasn't there for very long. After her, I didn't have one. There was supposed to be a lady who was gonna, named like Ashley or something like that. And before that, it was supposed to be a lady named Kim. But for over a month, I didn't know who it was supposed to be. And then it was supposed to be Kim, who wasn't doing anything. And I was being told by Nicole Peralta, this is after I've gotten disability finally, right? And I'm spending all of my disability money going to appointments to see Nicole Peralta and hopefully have a new caseworker. Well, I didn't have a new caseworker. I got a call from them. Nicole Peralta and Tamara had not made it to 4 appointments, and there was 1 appointment that I didn't make it to. So I got a call saying that they were going to drop me off from the program because I had missed 5 appointments. No, I fucking didn't. No, I didn't. That is such a horrible fucking thing. These people go on vacations, they have problems, they can't show up of their own. It's their own personal problems, and they tell me their personal problems. Why the fuck are the companies that they're working for pretending that I didn't show up? Are these people calling me and telling me that they're not able to show up for personal reasons? Telling their bosses that I didn't show up and then going and using personal time? Getting paid for using work time for personal time? Is that what they were doing? It was horrible. Meanwhile, I had to pay for the housing in Chapel, Nebraska, my rent there. But there was nothing in Chapel, Nebraska for me. And I was being sent by Nicole Peralta to the Front Range of Colorado, because there's more services at the Front Range, and we have recorded all of these people since then. I didn't have the ability to record it all back then. So I had to go back to these people afterwards and record again. And again, and again, and again, and again. Them saying the same things they said before she was killed. Oh, you need to go to the Front Range of Colorado. Well, it was too dangerous to go to the Front Range of Colorado because I was being abused. And then Natalie was killed and it was all over the fucking news, and people want to pretend that, oh, everybody's just going to fucking forget about it. You guys are fucking morons. When I finally got disability, I spent most of my money paying for rent in Chapel, Nebraska, where I wasn't staying, paying to go see Nicole Peralta in Sidney, Nebraska, paying to go to the Front Range of Colorado to see Jeff Ritter and Kara Heller and the Colorado Coalition of the Homeless for months and months and months, and all the gas that goes along with it, and trying to keep and maintain a vehicle, an older vehicle that's falling apart at the seams, and has a lot of pre-existing issues that are tough to fix. So I spent all of that disability money jumping through all the hoops I was told that were going to help. If I went to the front range, that they'd do something about the abuse. And in the front range, they say, out of our jurisdiction. I call up the places where their jurisdictions are, and they say, oh, well, you can turn that in from there. You need to file that out there, or that's not our job. You need to call this other agency, or you need to call mental health. They run you ragged, making call after call after call after call, and then they make the claim that you never tried to get help. Well, excuse me, says I, there's plenty of evidence of that I did try to get help. And there's plenty of evidence of all of the illegal things that you did to hide the fact that I spent over a year trying to get help stopping the abuse before Natalie Bollinger was killed. My money went to doing what I was instructed to do. People said all sorts of shit, didn't they? If I went and did what Miss Peaches wanted, she was going to help me. Ken Wilson and Leah Plunkett, if I did what they told me to, then they were going to help me. So I was paying rent at Ken Wilson and Leah Plunkett's. Meanwhile, they just took advantage of my disability money month after month after month, and everything kept going up. And of course, they had more money, more money, more money. All right, well, let me explain it like this. There was a list of stuff that is supposed to help, and I used some of my disability money so that I could actually pay my bills. Well, Kenneth Wilson and Leah Plunkett, they ended up taking one of those items because it wasn't working back to the store to turn it in, and they ended up spending the money on themselves. They'd already also been paid $200 and something for my groceries for the month that they didn't bother to get. There was a lot of money that I didn't have anywhere else to go, did I? I couldn't have possibly, off of less than $700 a month, paid for all the stuff to keep my vehicle running, and go and see Nicole Peralta, and go see Jeff Ritter, and go see Kara Heller, and pay rent at Kenneth Wilson and Leah Plunkett's in Englewood, Colorado, and pay rent in Chapel, Nebraska, in order to do what Nicole Peralta and the Dual County Sheriff's Department were telling me to do to get help stopping the abuse. Obviously, they weren't interested in stopping the abuse. They just wanted me to go somewhere else where I wasn't a problem, where I was someone else's problem. So I spent a lot of money running back and forth and keeping my vehicle legal and paying rent in 2 different places. One of them was a drug dealer's house where I was being taken advantage of, and the other one was low income in Chapel, Nebraska, which first of all fucking sucked. And second of all, the lady that was running it, her name was Cindy, and the only reason she allowed me in there is because her friend, Brenda Dickinson, put in a good word for me. So I spent a lot of money going to Denver to appointments, and a lot of money going to Nebraska to appointments. It's like 2.5 hour drive each way. So that's 5 hours of gas, 5 hours of driving each way. It's not safe for me to drive at that point. I couldn't go see my friends or family in Boulder. Once in a while I did, like when Ocean needed rescued 3 different times, and when Bailey and her boyfriend didn't have a place to stay. I went to Boulder to see Ryan James. He was gonna, I don't know what, because he never showed up, and he didn't call and didn't show. Same thing with Pierre Byron, aka Pierre Warsbluck. He was gonna, but he didn't show up. No call, no show. 3 days. He didn't care that I was being assaulted and threatened while in Boulder waiting on him to keep his word. He didn't fucking care. He gave me a jacket that I didn't fucking want. He forced it on me. You better take it. I took the fucking jacket just so he would stop fucking pushing the jacket thing, because I didn't need a fucking jacket. I needed help stopping abuse by two of his supposed friends. And supposedly I was his friend too, and I spent money going to see those people. I spent the money when the cops didn't want to do their jobs to protect an at-risk individual. They told me I had to go to these other places, so I went to these other places. And these other places told me to places to go where it was going to cost me money. And those places told me to go places that would cost me money. Then there's my friends who said they would help. So I spent money to go see them. I spent money to make the things that they wanted. Joanna Taylor Smith wanted a hammer, so I made her a hammer. I blacksmithed her a hammer through severe pain. And hopefully she'd keep her word since I did that, but no, she didn't. She never tried. She never tried to actually keep her word, to put a stop to the threats, harassment, and violence that I was enduring. She wouldn't even hear it. She was too busy telling me pretty white girl shit. The kind of shit that you gotta be a pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl in order to even fucking believe. Because nobody else gets that kind of fucking treatment. Nobody else gets that preferential treatment. But she just couldn't come off of it. She just couldn't understand that I'm a guy and it's different for us. She just couldn't understand that I'm homeless. It's different for us. She just couldn't understand that I didn't have a mom or dad that would fucking bail me out. She had her own pretty shit in her fucking head, and that's what she had. And that's what she pushed. All my money going to pay for a new phone. Because Alicia Bollinger didn't keep her word, and the things that she did with my old phone number when she worked at Cricket, so that she was in control of that. She was in control of a number that I'd had for years because she changed it from my old flip phone to the broken phone that used to be Natalie's. When that shit went to hell in Virginia, I no longer had that phone number. I just had a broken phone that wouldn't fucking work. I couldn't pay the bill because it was in Alicia Bollinger's name. And it doesn't matter how much evidence there is. Fact is, I have a penis. You can call me mentally ill and throw me away like I'm trash. I'm homeless, so you're just going to assume that I'm a fucking druggie anyway. So all my money has to be spent trying to run around to see doctors. Because if I go see doctors, then they're going to help me, apparently, with the abuse that I'm enduring. Well, no, the doctors aren't. The doctors aren't helping me. Sure, they're mandated reporters, but they don't tag me as retarded the way the police do, unless the police send me to them and tell them expressly that I am retarded in such a way, which they do when they've committed a crime. When you're forced to go back to Dual County Sheriff's Department to turn in crimes the Dual County Sheriff's Department has repeatedly ignored you over, and they've sent you to mental health and the doctors over, and the doctors tell you that it's the police's job, and you try to turn that in. The police take you to the hospital, tell the hospital that you're schizophrenic or delusional or bipolar, and the doctors just give it to them. They don't bother doing their job or finding out why, and anything that you say must be some fucking delusion. That's why in those cases it needs to be recorded. Because there's too much professional courtesy going on. It's neither professional nor courteous. You get to see how many of the officers that I've had to deal with have already been arrested and put in prison. I gotta end this video because my phone's overheating.